But so who was your MVP for Game 2? And
I'm gonna.
a couple stand-up performances. We talked about Steph, right? Let's see if there's anyone else that's really complimented. Jordan Poole, of course. Shout out to Gary Payton returning.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
for sure.
Uh, so Jordan Poole ended with 17 points. He was pretty efficient tonight. 5 of 9 from three-point land. 6 of 14 overall from field. I mean, Kevin Looney had 12 points, made all his field goal attempts. Yeah, so who's your MVP for Game 2?
I could go with the obvious choice with Steph, obviously having some great shots from three. A lot of guys that stepped up, regardless of like the individual MVP performance or my choice. I think the big thing here though was energy, and for me, I don't, I'm usually not big on this person, but Draymond Green, to me, his energy, his statistics may not have matched like an MVP of the game type of player, but I think that what he brought to the table tonight was just having that type of intensity that they needed on defense, and that kind of forced the Celtics into a uncomfortable place. To me, that was the deciding factor when I look at the Celtics versus the Warriors, that the Warriors brought that intensity, which was fueled by Draymond. He got that tech earlier in the game, and from there on, he was just fired up. He kept going, kept getting into guys' faces, playing aggressive defense, which inspired the rest of the team to go out and play hard on defense. And they got all those steals, got those turnovers, and were able to convert that into points and everything. I think that Draymond's impact was huge. And obviously, Steph had a great game, but his impact can't be denied. Along with other guys like Wiggins, he might not have had a great scoring night, but he was aggressive as well. And he kept his foot on the gas, kept going after the boards. Him, Looney, everyone, just being a star in that role. Like Jordan Poole as well, coming in and bringing great energy. I think that was the difference in the Celtics versus the Warriors tonight. So Draymond to me should get it because I just go for the underdog. Steph was obviously magnificent with his shooting, at least. But that's my thought on the MVP of the game.
To be clear, who exactly was your pick?
Oh, I'm going Draymond.
Okay, so let's stay on Draymond real quick.
Okay.
Draymond earned his one tech. We talked about that. There was another incident where, if we could argue, if this regular season, it would have been double tech. So Jaylen Brown is on the ground, right? No, yeah, he shot a three, got fouled for it by Draymond, right? Draymond collapses on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as they're talking, whatever, it looks like some tussling a little bit. It's some tussling. But they did not address a penalty at all. I think a lot of people on NBA Twitter and in the NBA atmosphere is thinking, okay, that should be a tech. What are your thoughts on that? I could see how that could have been a tech. And if it was a tech, it would have been out the game. That probably would have changed the whole momentum for the game.
I 100% agree that would have changed the game if Draymond would have got his tech and got kicked out. And yeah, I mean, I think that they kind of gave him a pass there because honestly, like you said, he had already got his first tech earlier in the game. And then that happened. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to kick him out. And they didn't. So I was like, oh. So that really was a big difference to me tonight for the Warriors. And like I said, impacted the Celtics in a negative way because Draymond just kept being that agitating presence. And I definitely think that it really should have been probably would have been a double take if it wasn't the playoffs and if it wasn't Draymond too. That I feel like was a factor. But I agree. I think that without if he gets that tech, this game could be very much different.
Yeah, it would have been so different, so different. And to remind the audience out there, you get a warning after your 5th technical foul. Once you get to 7, you're suspended the game. So with this, is this his 5th now? Or is this his, I believe this is his 5th, right?
I have to look, but he has gotten at least 3, I know, but probably is at his 5th. So run up that warning, and we still have many games to go in this series. So that could be that's something he has to be aware of and be careful about choosing. You got to choose your battles with the text.
Yeah,
when you're guys like Draymond.
and I could make an argument because he had a technical foul already. It's like that's the only reason he didn't get the other one. That's how I'm kind of feeling about it. And apparently that's how a lot of people feel online as well. Like if he didn't have that technical foul already, they would have issued it to him. And if that's the case, how is that fair? Jeff Van Gundy went on a little tangent about it a little bit, right? And I was like, I see your point, Jeff Van Gundy. It's like, okay, you'll do that to a player who's not known for that. But for a player with that reputation, like Draymond Green, you don't do it. I don't know. And to be fair, that first technical foul he got, I'm not sure what he got that for. I mean, apparently he was talking though, and whatever it is, Tony Brothers, he don't play, so he gave it to him. So
get out of here with that. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's partially because he is who he is, and he's kind of known to be a guy that's chirping a lot during the game, and then 2, if he wouldn't have had a tech already, I think it's kind of like, the refs don't want to make it seem like, oh, this guy is always a problem. I'm going to give him a tech every single game, every single time he does something. Because you kind of have to let it be at some points in the game where it's like, oh, well, this is the playoffs. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a, not hostile environment, but more of a like competitive and jarring back and forth type of series, I guess. So I do think that if it weren't Draymond, and 2, if he hadn't have gotten a tech already, it could have went a different direction. But they didn't call anything on Jaylen Brown either. So I guess they're trying to let him play it out, but it's still probably a lot of Boston fans are upset about that because they're probably going to change the momentum of the game for the Celtics for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and just to be clear, he has 4 technical fouls.
Okay, so he has
one
more to go.
But if he got that one tonight, that would have been a warning. And to be fair, I think he should have got it. It should have been a double tech.
I think so.
It should have been a double tech. Like don't go into this spiel now of like picking and choosing. I mean, yeah, I agree, let them play, but fair is fair. And to be honest, it was like they were kind of a lot of little ticky tack. I mean, there were consistent fouls in that first quarter. I'm like, all these fouls, man. And I feel like all those fouls just ruined the momentum for the Celtics. And again, they got to be more. Fouls, yeah, they got to be more responsible about that, and now they should be accountable for that for sure. But
there was another thing that went wrong for them too is foul trouble with Marcus Smart. Like he got 4 fouls by at least the third quarter, and I was like, all right, well, and he only scored. I mean, obviously they're not looking for him to score a lot, but he has been pretty solid contribution on the offensive end. We know what he does on defense, but he just couldn't stay on the floor either.
Yeah. So getting back to the MVP. I almost want to say the refs, but I'm gonna actually choose the actual player.
Right.
Good point about Draymond Green because he is such an irritant, and they made comments about that throughout the game. With the Wired and the in-depth interviews, talking about Draymond Green. So, yeah, he was definitely an influence on that end. But I'm gonna just go with Steph Curry because whenever the Boston made a run, Steph Curry went on these many runs by himself that was either sparked by him or was greatly impacted by him. He went on a 5-0 run by himself out of a pause and play when the Celtics were teetering on a comeback. You know, the Celtics tend to do that here and there.
Yeah.
And before that great shot by Jordan Poole from near half court, Steph really initiated a big part of that run.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Shout out to Steph for putting him away. So that's the reason I give him MVP of Game 2. They were killing them with that pick and roll. As Celtics, you got to do better. You got any other thoughts about the MVP of the game? Because I'm ready to get into it with Mark for the Celtics.
I can't argue against that. Steph was instrumental in them getting this win tonight, and he really was able to take advantage of how the defense played him because they were dropping out of the pick and roll instead of being up high because he's going to pull up. But shout out to the Celtics. Shout out to Steph and shout out to the Celtics, not defense, for allowing Steph to get the MVP too.
Yep. Shout out to the refs too.
Shout out to the refs.
That should have been double.
They really saved them for that.
They did. That should have been double technical.
Yeah.
No.